morning students. I hope all of you are fine at your home. So students, today we are going to discuss our 12th chapter of the biology named the endocrine system. So in this chapter basically we will discuss about the what is endocrine system and its various glands, their different hormones and various disease related with their excess or their deficiency. Okay. First of all, before beginning this chapter, let us discuss some basic terms. Now children, what is a gland? Now gland is a structure which secretes a specific substance in our body. And endocrine glands, these are the group of glands which produces various hormones and they form a system. That system is known as the endocrine system. We can also call it as the hormonal system. So now children, in addition to nervous system, the endocrine system is the one of the system which helps in the coordinating the activities of our body, because as you know, our human body is very complex. So its coordination is not possible by the one system. So this endocrine system is a system of a chemical coordination. Certain chemicals are being secreted and that chemicals are known as the hormones. So you can see here endocrine gland, they secrete certain chemicals that are known as hormones, and these hormones are extremely important for the regulation of our various body activities. So there are a number of the glands which are there, but in syllabus we will be discussing few of them. First of all, before beginning that endocrine system, let us generally differentiate between the nervous system and this endocrine system. We can also term it as a differentiate between the hormonal control or the nervous control. Now children, see, the nervous system, basically they are transmitting the electrochemical impulse through with the help of the nerve fibers, whereas this endocrine gland, the hormones, they are transmitted chemically through the blood. They are not having specific organs, they are directly poured into the blood. In the nervous system the action is immediate and rapid, but in the this endocrine system their actions are usually slow. Nervous system acts particularly on your muscles or your glands, that are your effector organs, but this endocrine system that affects different organs. Nervous system cannot affect your growth, but the endocrine system can affect your growth. Nervous system can be modified to some extent by learning from previous experience, but we cannot modify this our endocrine system by learning from our previous experience. So now here in specific they are telling about hormones. What are hormones? These are secretion from the specific cells or glands in our body, and they are carried to all the parts through the blood, but their effect will be produced on only one or more specific part. Means we can say on target organs will only show their effect. Now most of the hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. So before discussing about endocrine gland, I must make you aware about two terms. There are two terms, that is endocrine gland and exocrine glands. Now what is the difference between endocrine gland? The glands whose secretions are being poured into certain ducts or pockets or pouch like structure, that glands are known as the exocrine glands, and whose secretions are directly poured into blood and they are not stored in any duct, that glands are called as endocrine glands. So we can also call endocrine glands as the ductless glands. Now next we are going to discuss about some chemical properties of the hormones. Now children, see, hormones are secreted from their source, that is endocrine, and directly they are poured into the blood. This is one of the properties. Secondly, they regulate our physiological process by chemical means. It means they affect the enzyme system of our body, and they will act on a target organs or cells, usually that is away from their source. And hormones action which is being produced on one species will be similar in the other species. Otherwise we can say what the influence is shown by a one particular hormone in one species, same effect will be shown in other species also by that particular hormone, and they are produced in very small quantities and they are biologically very active. Now chemically, what is the composition of what the hormones are made up of? They can be in peptides, that is the proteins, like such as example is insulin, which are water soluble, or some are they can be amines derived from amino acids such as adenine. Again, this is also water soluble, or some can be in the form of steroids that is derived from cholesterol such as testosterone, which are the lipid soluble. Now children, see, their excess is also harmful, their deficiency also harmful. So in both cases some serious conditions could be happen, or some disease, they can lead to serious consequences. And thus keep in this mind that hormones are not stored in the body, they are just excreted from the system. Now in generally you can see here there are seven endocrine glands are there, but which are being highlighted here, that is adrenal, pancreas, thyroid and pituitary. That in your syllabus, that will be discussed in detail. Now just look into this diagram. This is the diagram representing the location of the different glands. So this diagram could be asked in the paper to draw. So sometimes they are giving this diagram and giving the numbering. They can ask you to name them. So which are our fourth, that is first we are going to discuss about the gland, that is adrenal glands. Now adrenal glands, children, they are the like a cap like structure which are situated on the top of each kidney. So first question which arise about that is they can ask about their location. So it is located on the top of each of the kidney. And children, like the kidney, this adrenal gland, they are been also divided into two parts, outer external part that is called as the cortex, and inner one is known as the medulla. So here, because medulla is coming in lot of places, so here to specify it, we are calling it as medulla adrenal. Now first, what is adrenal medulla? Adrenal medulla that secretes one hormone that is known as adrenaline, which we can also call as epinephrine or noradrenaline. Now children, keep in this mind, this adrenaline hormone is known as a flight and fight hormone. Why it is called as this flight and fight hormone? Because it enables your body to fight out with the danger, or to run away from any situation if you are in some danger. That time our body requires some extra energy and strength, and that is basically provided when this hormone is being released. So each extra hormone that released into blood at that time, that can be due to emotional stress, or like when you are in an excited state or you're angry, your adrenal will produce lot of adrenaline, and some changes will be stimulated, like your heartbeat will become faster, your breathing rate will also fast, your auricles will constrict, then your muscle will get tension, liver will convert fast the glycogen into glucose, and there will be conversion of fat into fat because you need more energy. So there will be increase in blood supply also, sweating would also be there. For example, just if any dog came behind you and you want to save from, you will start running, you need an extra energy to run away from that situation. So that for that you need more energy, your heart rate will become faster, there will increase in the blood supply, even increase in the sugar level in your body also, you will be sweating and your breathing rate will also increase. So that's why adrenaline is known as the emergency hormone. So that's why we call it, the other name of adrenaline is, it is an emergency hormones. Now in the next page they have also told about the second part, that is the adrenal cortex. Now what are its? Now adrenal cortex that secrete many hormones, but best known hormone is cortisone. Now cortisone is also called as we can also call them as corticoids also. Basically there are two types, that is mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids. The mineralocorticoid that regulate the mineral metabolism, especially that of your sodium and potassium ions, and glucocorticoids that regulates your carbohydrates, proteins and fat metabolism. Metabolism means their breakdown. So in general, these cortical hormones will increase your blood glucose concentration, influence your fat and protein metabolism, regulate your salt and water balance in the body, and adapt the body to stress, that extreme cold or hot or summer or infection something like that, and Children, now certain cortical hormones also behave like a sex hormones also. They helps in the appearance of your sexual character also, and any increased secretion of these hormones in the children may lead to premature sexuality also. So it is given here, they are may lead to the young leads to the premature sexual maturity. Now hypersecretion. Hypersecretion means their under secretion. Under secretion from the adrenal cortex that can cause disease known as Addison disease, whose symptoms are loss of energy, skin pigmentation, loss of weight, nausea will be there, hypoglycemia, that is a low blood sugar level, sensitivity to cold and pain, and increased susceptibility to infection. Hyper means when there is an over secretion of adrenal cortex, that causes a disease that is known as Cushing syndrome. See, mostly in board this question is being asked in the 1 mark or 2 marks, and they can even ask their symptoms also. Their symptoms are obesity, hyperglycemia, that is a high blood pressure, osteoporosis, weakness, salt and water retention. Now next gland which we are going to discuss is the pancreas. Now pancreas is a ductless as well as a ductilent gland. Means we can say it is both exocrine and endocrine in nature. As a duct gland, already we have discussed in the digestive system, its secretions as pancreatic juices are poured into duodenum for the digestion. As a ductless gland, it has a special group of hormone secreting cells. That cells are known as islets of Langerhans that are scattered on the entire gland. Now you must have seen in the digestive system, where are they located? These are leaf-like structures that have the duct to pour their secretion in the pancreatic duct. Now here these islets of Langerhans are further of three types, that is alpha cells, beta cells and the delta cells. Now alpha cells, they will be secreting a hormone that is known as the glucagon. Beta cells, they will secrete hormone that is known as the insulin, and delta cells, they will secrete a hormone known as the somatostatin. Now first we are going to discuss about the insulin. Insulin that is secreted by beta cells that check the rise of the sugar level in your body. Means what is the glucose level in your body, and basically its two functions are that it promotes the glucose utilization also, and moreover it will stimulate if any extra glucose is there in the blood, that will be immediately stored as a glycogen in your liver and the muscles. Now under secretion means if insufficient supply a secretion of insulin would be there, that will cause a disease that is known as diabetes. Commonly it is called as diabetes mellitus or hyperglycemia. Mellitus means honey, referring to the passage of the sugar, means sugar will be glucose being passed in your urine, and that person will have a high concentration of sugar in the blood, and he or she will excrete a great deal of urine loaded with the sugar, feel often thirsty because of the loss of the water through the excess urination, and person will lose weight also, become weaker and weaker in certain cases, and sometimes a person loses their eyesight also or even their vision. So, and if the over secretion is there, then the person will suffer disease that is known as insulin stroke, that is called as hypoglycemia. So in that case the brain may enter in a state of a coma if the level becomes too low even for a minute also. So similar thing may happen in the diabetic patient if an overdose of insulin is also given. So this is called an insulin shock or hypoglycemia, and a prompt bite of a sweet biscuit or sugar candy is helpful. So normally you can see some people are always carrying some candies with them. This is the reason to avoid any type of the insulin shock. And last is a glucagon, which is being secreted by the alpha cells. It stimulates the breakdown of the glycogen. Means if already glucose is being stored in the form of glycogen, so it will initiate the breakdown of the glycogen back into the glucose, that raises because sugar to raise the sugar level in the blood. So these are the basic functions of the different hormones being secreted by the pancreas. Now next children, we are going to discuss our next gland, that is the thyroid gland. Now thyroid gland, it is a bilobed, just a butterfly shape you can see. It is a bilobed butterfly shaped structure that just situated in front of the neck, just below your larynx. This is the front view. You can this is the back view. and these two lobes, they are connected by interconnection that is known as isthmus. And basically they are secreting two hormones, that is thyroxine and calcitonin, but in your syllabus we will discuss only the thyroxine. See, thyroxine regulate the basal metabolism. Basal metabolism, that it will regulate your cellular oxidation resulting in the heat production, and any increase in their secretion will lead to your increased metabolism, and any decrease in their secretion, that will decrease your basal metabolism. So we can say it can generally influence your growth of the body, of your bones, even your body temperature and your mental development. Now it's under secretion, that is known as hypothyroidism. That is the insufficient supply of secretion of thyroxine will lead to three kinds of conditions. First is the simple goiter, then is cretinism, and the third is myxedema. We will discuss each one in detail. Now simple goiter, that is just, you can look into this picture. It is an enlargement of the thyroid and visible as a swelling in your neck. Basically this happens due to the insufficient supply of the iodine in the food, because iodine initiates the secretion of the thyroxine by the thyroid gland. So now in the hilly area, only question this come, that hilly area where the people suffer more from goiter, because in hilly area the water is deficient in the iodine. So these people they are more prone to this goiter. Second disease is cretinism. Now cretinism is a condition which affects the growth of the children. That children will not grow properly and will show the dwarfism or mental retardation. This can be due to the defective development or early estropy, early degeneration of that is of the thyroid. Next is myxedema. This is a condition which basically it is affecting in the adults. Cretinism was in the children. This is in the adults. And the thyroid does not function properly, and person becomes sluggish with the swelling of the face and the hand. Normally, see, when we become fatty too much, doctor advises to go for the thyroid test. So basically we become over increase in the weight happens in that time. So next come over secretion. Now over secretion is condition is known as hyperthyroidism, when excess of the thyroxine is being secreted, and it can be led to cause of a this goiter, that is exophthalmic goiter, that is the outward. You can look in this picture, the condition will be like this. The person will have a marked increase in their metabolic rate, where the heartbeat will be very rapid. There will be shortness of the breath, eyes will be protruded, they will be bulging out, and it forms a goiter in the neck also. So what are the improper function of thyroid? If it is hypothyroidism, simple word, that will be enlargement of the thyroid. Cretinism, it will be dwarfism or mental retardation. Myxedema, swelling of face and hands. Sluggishness will be there. And hypothyroidism, that is exophthalmic goiter, protruding eyes, increased metabolism and shortness of the breath, and the person will feel restlessness. Now the next gland which we are going to discuss is the pituitary gland. Now pituitary gland is a small projection just as the size of a pea, we can see, and which hangs from the base of your midbrain, means just below the region known as hypothalamus. And commonly children, this pituitary gland is called as a master gland. Basically there are two reasons, because most of the hormones are being secreted by pituitary, and secondly, whatever the hormones are, they are controlling the secretion of other glands also. That's why it is called as the master gland. Now pituitary gland is being divided into, it is having two lobes, you can see, anterior one, anterior pituitary, that the front side, that is anterior pituitary, posterior back side, that is the posterior pituitary. So both these lobes are secreting different hormones. Now first we are going to discuss about the hormones that are secreted from anterior pituitary. First one is the growth hormone, short form is GH. Basically it is essential for the normal growth. We are also called it as somatotrophin. And its deficiency, if it is in the childhood, the deficiency can result a disease known as dwarfism. Means that a dwarf means though his body will be fully developed, his brain, but size will be small, just it will be like a proportion of a child. And over secretion in the childhood may result into gignatism. Means if it is in excess, it is being secreted, that will lead to disease known as gignatic. Means a person will become very giant. He will have a long bones beyond the normal, and its size could be more than 2.7 meters in height are produced. You can see this is the condition of dwarfism, and this is the condition of gignatism. And if over secretion of the growth hormone suddenly occurs in an adult, and there will be an extra growth of bones. You can say some people, their faces are very becoming big, the bones of the faces are becoming enlarged, especially the jaws, and in their hands and the feet. The person develop a large nose, or they can be in a large thick lips. Such condition is known as acromegaly. That this happens only in case of the adults. Now, second hormones which are being secreted by the anterior lobe, that are trophic hormones. These are basically three types. That is thyroid stimulating hormone that activate the thyroid to secrete the thyroxine. Then is gonad stimulate gonadotrophic hormones. That is thyroid stimulant, which short form is TSH. And gonadotrophic, that regulates the activities of the testes and the ovary, that is the gonads. And the third one is adrenocorticotrophic hormone, that is ACTH. Sometimes they are just asking their full forms. They regulate the activity of adrenal cortex. Now children, why these three are known as the trophic hormones? There is a specific reason. See, they are called as trophic hormones because they stimulate the other endocrine glands to produce their specific secretions, such as gonadotrophic secrete the in the testes and ovaries. Then one is the thyroxine. So that's why means they're influencing the activity of other hormones. So that's why they are called as the trophic hormones. Now next we are going to discuss about the hormones from the posterior pituitary. Now posterior pituitary lobe secretes two hormones. First one is antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH. We can also call it as vasopressin. Basically it said it constricts the blood vessels with a rise in the blood pressure, and it acts on the your kidney also, increasing the reabsorption of the water from the kidney. And its disease can deficiency can cause a disease, that is another type of diabetes, that is known as diabetes insipidus. That is a water diabetes in which a urination is frequent and copious, resulting in loss of the water from the body, and person become very thirsty. So means an insipid person, it is a tasteless, referring to the absence of the complete sugar in the urine. Next is oxytocin. Oxytocin, that stimulates the vigorous contraction of your uterus wall in the pregnant ladies for leading to the birth of the baby. So these was about the various hormones that are secreted by the pituitary gland. I hope all the glands are clear to you. Go through all the glands carefully and draw the diagram. Understand their functions and their hyposecretion as well as their hypersecretion. Thank you. Have a nice day.